Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
And I am here in Jupiter, Florida. Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Will be here until the top of the hour when we take you to Cardinal baseball. The Cardinals taking on the Astros today. Final Grapefruit League game of spring training. And once we get through that, the Cardinals will get on a bus and they will head to the airport. They are on their way to Springfield, Missouri after this, and they will take a group with them. The Cardinals will have President of Baseball Operations Chaim Bloom joining us here in just a few moments, probably at the bottom of the hour. I just talked to him here at the complex, and he said he would swing by the studio, so we look forward to that. We always love talking to Chaim and getting the latest on the team. The Cardinals have not made any decisions yet on position players. They have, I think, made the decision. They haven't had the conversations with the players just yet. So nothing has been announced on that side. Ali Marmol telling us as much just a little while ago, and I anticipate that Chaim is going to tell us the same thing. But he will be able to talk about the pitchers that have been decided, and the Cardinals have that, and they also have some things they have to get through when it comes to the 40-man roster, because let's say they put J.J. Weatherholt and Nelson Velasquez on it. Neither of those players are on the 40-man, so they have to make some corresponding moves there. They do have a decision to make on Thomas Sajaci, who hasn't gotten a lot of at-bats down here because of World Baseball Classic play. He did get some action. Mostly it was just taking rips during batting practice, shagging fly balls during batting practice, that type of thing. But he's had a good push here this last week, hit a home run yesterday as the Cardinals beat the Marlins. He also had a run-scoring single in the first inning. So a good outfield and home plate appearance for Thomas Sajaci, both as a hitter and as a center fielder / left fielder. But we'll see what the Cardinals end up deciding there and announcing there, we should say. Again, I believe they've made all the decisions that need to be made. They just have to inform the players, and they do that the proper way, talking to them privately before they release it to us. That is happening right now and throughout the day today, and we'll see what happens. As the Cardinals take on the Astros today, Michael McGreevy is going to make that start. McGreevy is going to be doing same thing they did with Liberatore on Friday, a deload, which means they're not going full bore like he would in the regular season. They're going to monitor what he does. With Liberatore, that was supposed to be 70 pitches. He ended up throwing 54 in 5 innings on Friday and ended up having to finish his work in the bullpen. That's how efficient he was. For right now, McGreevy makes the start today against the Astros, so they dial it back just a little bit before the regular season begins. This is all part of the pitching plan. Ivan Herrera, as I asked Ali about that the last couple of days, I was very curious. Knee inflammation is something that can linger sometimes, so I wondered how he responded to catching against the Mets on Friday. Ali said very good. As a matter of fact, he's back in there catching today as he goes up against the Astros, and the plan for Herrera is 5 innings. He had a 4-inning stint recently. Now it's up to 5. And the Cardinals starting lineup looks like this. J.J. Weatherholt leading off playing second base. Ivan Herrera behind the plate batting second. Alec Burleson third. He's the first baseman. Mason Wynn is going to be batting fourth and playing shortstop. Ramon Arias, the third baseman, fifth. Nathan Church in left field, sixth. Jordan Walker in right field, seventh. Victor Scott in center field, eighth. And then their DH minor leaguer Mejia is batting ninth with McGreevy pitching. They have a bullpen opportunity for Blewett, for Roycroft, for Soriano. Roycroft and Soriano have made this team. Blewett has not. The Cardinals bullpen is the following: George Soriano, Chris Roycroft, Matt Pichard, all making it yesterday because they optioned Gordon Graceffo to Memphis. That was a move that I think was anticipated. Graceffo on Team Italy like Sajaci was. And so he had the opportunity to pitch for them, but that kind of gets you in a position where you need to get a little bit more in the minor leagues, get a little more seasoning there, and they go with the guys who earned it: Soriano, Roycroft, and Bouchard. The Rule 5 picks, Stanek, O'Brien, and Swanson, you knew they had made it. They're the high leverage relievers from the right side. Lefty relievers are JoJo Romero and Justin Brule. You should know the rotation by now, but in case you don't, Matthew Liberatore is the opening day starter. Just saw him running a little bit, working out on the backfields. Michael McGreevy, as I mentioned, today's starter. Dustin May is going to start tomorrow in Springfield. Now, whether that is for the Cardinals or for Springfield we'll find out. They'll have two starters going. They'll put May on one of the sides and the other starter on the other. They haven't announced that yet, who the Springfield starter will be. Kyle Leahy starts against the Mets, and then Andre Palante against the Mets starting on Monday and Tuesday. There's an off day Friday, so it goes Thursday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, first five starters. There you go, your rotation. Liberatore, McGreevy, May, Leahy, and Palante. So that's what's going on down here. So far, so good for the Cardinals pitching. I think that's been the highlight. We'll talk to Chaim about it at the bottom of the hour. Offense, I think it's fair to question where the runs are coming from, who's going to hit home runs. There are some bright spots, but there's a lot still to sort out. Lars Nootbaar will not be part of that mix. He's going to start the season on the injured list, and his plan for the next couple of weeks will be announced by the Cardinals, and Adam Olson, their head trainer here, will be working on that with Nootbaar as he continues to work his way back from heel surgery. I think it's important to remind people that he came back from not your common surgery. I mean, Hagelin's deformities, that's something where they actually shave your heel back. So it takes a little time. I mean, I told Stuart McMillan this morning, if I had heel surgery, I'd be limping to go get a cup of coffee. This guy's trying to go play in the big leagues. So let's all keep that in mind for Newt as he works his way back. All right, let's take a break. We'll talk to Bernie Miklasz about it next. Chaim Bloom scheduled to join us at 10:30. If Chaim comes in a little early, we'll just jump right into the conversation, but Bernie will be standing by. We also have a lot of college basketball to discuss. We know that Illinois is in the Sweet 16. SLU got knocked out by Michigan. 2 games coming up here in just a little bit at Enterprise Center. Iowa State, Kentucky, I think, is a great one. Purdue and Miami, another good one. They're the first one. 8 games today to determine the Sweet 16. City, nice win at Energizer Park over New England. Blues won over Vancouver. Both scores were 3-1. We'll get into that a little bit before we go. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you out. We're going to jam it all in. Sports on a Sunday morning. Coming to you from the Stiefel Sports Studio here in Jupiter, Florida, Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Back after this with Bernie Miklasz on KMOX.
Okay, I have some really good news. Well, we do have the 0% a lot. We do have it on our regular products because you will be unbelievably shocked, especially if you call me and I'll give you the straight up scoop on how much money you can actually save by if you spent $20,000 versus $10,000 on a system. The difference could be as little as, I don't know, let's just say, not to exaggerate, 5 cents. So be careful out there, and always remember your energy savings is based on your house. It is not based on the equipment. So common sense advice and help and guidance. Again, call me Bart Inman, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois. The easiest, 314-293-2600. Again, one easy number, Missouri and Illinois, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, that is bartinman.com. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Bringing a data center online takes more than equipment. It takes precision. Graybar helps customers predict, stage, schedule, deliver, and verify every step of the build with critical products that are available now. From networking and wireless to critical power and testing tools, our teams help you reduce downtime risk and keep projects on track. Speed, scale, ready now. Yep, Graybar does that.
There's a difference between liking a house and actually getting it. Redfin is built to make up that difference and close the gap between finding and owning the home for you. Redfin agents close twice as many deals as other agents, so when you find a home you love, you're not a step behind when it's time to make an offer. That means less watching great homes disappear and more focus on the ones you'll actually move into and call home. Redfin helps turn saved listings into real addresses. Get started at redfin.com. Own the dream.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/protect. That's ethos.com/protect. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Are you struggling with hearing loss? Do friends and family complain that your TV is too loud? Are you tired of asking people to repeat themselves? If you want to hear clearly again, but don't want a bulky hearing aid that makes you look old, you need to try Atom X by Audion Hearing. The Atom X is a life-changing breakthrough, precisely designed by top audio engineers, fits comfortably in your ear, is nearly invisible, and lets you adjust your sound so you can hear conversations clearly, at home, at dinner, or on the go. And right now, you can try the Atom X risk-free for 45 days. Call Audion Hearing now at 800-295-HEAR. That's HEAR for a 45-day risk-free home trial with free shipping and money-back guarantee. The Atom X is lightweight, rechargeable, practically invisible, and costs 90% less than prescription hearing aids. Don't miss out. Call 800-295-HEAR for complete details. That's 800-295-4327. Hearing for everyone. Audion Hearing.
Now, back to the Gray Bar Sports on a Sunday morning on 104.1 KMOX. From the Stifel Financial Sports Studio, here is Tom Ackerman.
Welcome back to the show. Bernie Miklasz joins us now, sponsored by Saliga Heating and Cooling and Stewart's American Mortgage. Bernie, it is always a treat to talk to you, my friend. How are you?
Yeah, it's great. Last sports on a Sunday morning before opening day. So this is an especially big sports on a Sunday morning.
It's a big one. This is a big one. Chaim's going to come in here in about 15 minutes and give us the latest, but my anticipation is we're not going to have the 26-man roster just yet. And as you understand that, they need to have conversations with the players first. No one wants to learn this on the radio or on Twitter. So they'll do all of that. But I think we're close to understanding what it's going to look like. The pitching is set. Let me start with that, Bernie. Not a shocker here as to what this bullpen looks like. I think the pleasant surprise, now they made the move for him, so this is the reason they got him, but George Soriano has been really good, and I think that has solidified what has some pretty good horsepower on the right side of this Cardinal bullpen.
Well, no doubt about it. And I was getting ready to write some stuff about like sort of a spring training review, and one of the things is like the biggest overreaction to anything in spring training was when Chaim Bloom traded for George Soriano, and not everyone, but a lot of people were just losing their mind because they traded Andre Granillo and he had minor league options, and George Soriano does not have minor league options. And the thing I said, and it's worth repeating because I think this is a great example of what we're talking about, those of us who follow Chaim Bloom closely. He doesn't do something just to do something. There is a very specific and a very credible reason why he would make a trade like that, because they really believe there were a couple things they could fix with George Soriano, and they thought his upside was much higher than Granillo. Well, let's learn how to trust Chaim Bloom a little bit, because he doesn't do things willy-nilly, random. Oh, what the heck? Let's roll the dice. No, that's not him, man. He's got very good reasons for making whatever moves he's going to make, and that doesn't mean they're all going to work, because it doesn't go like that. Nobody bats 1,000, but I think the Soriano thing is a good symbol of kind of like, as is Nelson Velasquez, a good symbol of the kind of moves that a Chaim Bloom will make, where at the time you shrug a little bit, you're like, that's interesting. I don't know what to make of that. Well, have some faith, because his record in Tampa Bay and Boston, lot of gems unturned. And I did some research on that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess get used to it right now. Let me ask you this. So you mentioned Velasquez, you mentioned Soriano, another pitcher that he acquired, Richard Fitz, did not make the starting rotation. In fact, the decision was to go with Palante over Fitz. Now, Hunter Dobbins, who just threw a bullpen here a little while ago out here, is close. He's going to start the season on the injured list, but Palante gets that fifth starter spot. What was your reaction to that?
Listen, I think he made enough changes. There are two things they told him he had to do, and he did them, and he's worked hard at it. And I think that this was just kind of a show of faith that they think he'll be better this year. It doesn't mean that he'll hold his place all season long. But with Richard Fitz, that's a heck of a guy to have down in reserve as your sixth starter, and I think he'll pitch a lot for the Cardinals. But Listen, I'm not going to be a phony here. I thought Andre Palante was really bad last year, and I was skeptical about the idea that they could tweak him and fix him. But I like what we saw from Palante. It is only spring training, but I still like what we saw, and he looks like he has more ways to get hitters out. All you can say now is let's see where it goes, because 2 seasons ago, he was terrific as a starting pitcher. So it's not like this is a bet on someone who has never shown he can be a good major league starting pitcher. They just had to fix him.
Yeah, you're right. And it's not an indictment of Fitz. He still has a few things to work on, but that dude has a heavy fastball slider combo that he can turn to and lean on if he needs to get out of trouble, which he did in one of his last Grapefruit League starts. Bernie, what about position players? I mean, what's your gut tell you here? What's your anticipation when they finally do announce this roster?
Well, there's a couple things up for grabs, and I haven't put a lot of thought into it because I'm not sure how they feel about. I think they like Thomas Saggese a lot, but because he missed so much time, does it mean they'll start him off in Memphis? Not because to punish him or anything, because of the World Baseball Classic, but because they'd love to see him get more bats. So I'm going to wait and see. I really don't have any predictions other than I do think it's pretty obvious Nelson Velasquez should be their starting left fielder on opening day. I mean, he's earned that. He's been their best hitter in camp, and he was a guy that Chaim Bloom and his crew targeted as a potential gem, and they gave him an opportunity, and he delivered magnificently. So he's earned that spot. I'd be really surprised if that's not the case, because again, what's the point of dangling that carrot where you clearly had a competition in left field? This guy clearly won it for the power that he brings to the lineup and everything else. So I look forward to watching him. Can I throw something out real quick in relation to Velasquez? When Bloom was a key part of the Tampa Bay front office, they signed a guy in an offseason who had been released by 3 teams, not 1, not 2, 3 teams. They identified some things they could turn around, and they figured out one of the reasons why his plate discipline was off, why he was swinging and missed so much. They've diagnosed the problem. They think, listen, we think we can make this guy better. Let's sign him. It's nothing. The contract cost is nothing. Okay. So if you go back, this hitter in 2008 hit 46 home runs, a guy that anybody could have had. I'm trying to, and his name escapes me right. Carlos Pena, sorry. So Carlos Pena had been released by 3 teams. Nobody wanted him. Tampa Bay said, wait a minute, man, this guy's got power. We can fix a couple things. He had an unbelievable year. He hit 46 home runs when they picked him up off the street, and Tampa Bay went to the World Series that year.
I mean,
right?
Here's the thing. Yeah. Here's the thing. If you get the right people, the right scouts, the right analysts, the right eyeballs, Bernie, these players, they get criticized. I totally understand that. Look, you get to this level, you are open to criticism. You're making a good chunk of money, but also if you get to this level, you're in the tiniest percentage of the best players in the world. And there is a chance that somebody could tweak something and unlock something. And I think maybe they did find it in Velasquez. Time will tell. But right. I think that's a great story to tell.
Yeah, and let me correct myself. They signed him before the 2007 season. Not that it changes anything, but he hit 46 home runs and drove in 121. He had been on the streets without a job. And then the following year, he followed that up with 31 homers and 100 RBIs, and they went to the World Series. So when I hear people say, well, Velasquez, he flamed out. He flamed out of the big leagues. The Cubs and the Royals gave up on him. He went to Mexico. I mean, he struck out all the time. He never drew any walks. His plate discipline was terrible. Well, the same stuff applied to Carlos Pena. I mean, and so I've had people even in the media from my friends of mine, and it's kind of like, well, I'm not sure about this guy. He struck out a lot before. Well, yeah, but again, let's get back to something I said at the beginning. There is a reason why Chaim Bloom does stuff. He doesn't pick names out of a hat, okay? They thought that they could work with Velasquez and make him better, and they have. Now, what this means for the regular season, well, it's prove-it time for Velasquez. But just because he struck out a lot 5 years ago or 3 years ago, it has nothing to do with the hitter he is now. That's all I'm saying.
Pick names out of a hat. Bernie, let me ask you one more baseball question, and then we'll try to squeeze in a quick basketball thought before we go, and then Chaim's going to join us here in about 5 minutes. Lars Nootbaar, there's been a lot of piling on there. I mean, I posted just a simple transaction. They're going to put him on the injured list, and everybody just went nuts.
Why?
Look, I don't know how many people have had heel surgery. I'm willing to bet maybe I could count them on one hand of everybody out there. It's a big thing. I mean, but I guess it's fair to say Lars Nootbaar has not shown you everything that he can do, or has he? I don't know, but we're going to find out.
Well, I think it's important that when he finally does play, that he's 100% or darn close to it. You know, because listen, there's a lot at stake here. The Cardinals can trade Lars Nootbaar if he reestablishes the fact that he's physically restored and that he's going to perform better, and he puts up good numbers, very good numbers for the Cardinals. So let me ask a question to all the people that were, heading to the fainting couch because they put him on the IL. Let me ask a question. And I'm not trying to be mean. It's just a simple question. If we all agree that it would serve the Cardinals' best interest to trade Lars Nootbaar for a pretty good package, you get to pick up a couple more prospects, you're going to want him at his best to put the Cardinals in the position to do that. So then, why in the world would you want to rush him back before he's ready? Because his performance could lead to something that'll help the Cardinals for the future. I don't understand. What? So you want to put him on the roster even though he's not close to 100%? How does that help you? Here's the answer. It doesn't. Not in any way. So can we trust
in
the
this
process?
business? You gotta think it through in this business. You just have to. These are assets that you're moving around. Bernie, final thing here. Missouri gets, I think, slammed pretty good by Miami. I mean, I watched it. They don't look good. That was actually an ugly game all around. SLU got slammed by Michigan, but let's face it, Michigan might be the best team in the country. Two different programs, very much. Just your outlook for SLU and Mizzou, and I'm not leaving Illinois out. Congratulations to them. I thought they looked great. They're going to be up against Houston. I think that's how Brad Underwood likes it. But your read on SLU and Mizzou? Well,
first of all, they got Josh Scherz signed to a long-term contract or a 4-year contract extension. I have faith in him. I think just about everybody has faith in him. That it's not only does he know how to find talent. Again, he's not pursuing 4-star recruits or stuff, but he knows how to find talent that's going to play his system and play very, very well. Complementary pieces everywhere, role player pieces everywhere. So I have a lot of faith in him that he'll continue to just recruit to their style and recruit to his beliefs, basketball-wise, and that's going to make the Billikens really good. Mizzou, I have to say, Dennis Gates made a tournament 3 times in 4 years. That's a plus. I don't think that should be minimized. But Mizzou is a program, they need to start winning some tournament games. And one thing specifically Dennis Gates must do, he's got to find better guards. Guard play kills this team all the time. He's got to find better guards, because I think guard play in the NCAA tournament is massively important. And that's been a real liability for Mizzou. But I was looking this up, Tom, Dennis Gates is, 1-6 in the tournament. I think it's 1-6. And that's not good enough. And, 3 of their losses have been to non-power conference teams. But if you go back to the Mizzou program in general, I mean, this program has not been to the Sweet 16 since 2009. And there have been a lot of dry spells. And listen, when you see in Nebraska, and we can name a bunch of other type of programs, when you see in Nebraska, when you see people where programs, with all due respect to them, should not have a better basketball program than Mizzou, I think it's legitimate to say what is going on to the point where they just can't get to the next level? And this level to me would be just getting to a Sweet 16. I don't. Do you agree with that or what?
Yeah, I do. This is a big year coming here for Dennis Gates. I'm not saying he's going to be fired, but he was hired by Desiree Reed Francois. He has, I think, been given a lot of time to build what they want to be a national championship contender. I think that's his goal. And I think that next year is a big year. They have some serious talent coming in. They've got some money where they can hit the portal. I think that's a fair thing. I think right. You analyzed it perfectly.
In Mizzou, I went back and looked at all the teams that have continuously been in the SEC since Mizzou's first season in the SEC basketball, 2012, 2013. And there are 6 SEC teams that have 11 plus victories, 11 or more. Then a couple other have 4. LSU's got 3. Mizzou, since they joined the SEC, they've got 1 NCAA tournament victory. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
That's a lot.
Right?
That's a lot. My man, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. We're going to talk to Chaim here next and have an amazing rest of your day, buddy. I can't wait to see you back home.
All right. Take care. Great work down there. Thank you.
Thanks, man. Thank you for that. Bernie Miklasz with us on KMOX. Quick break. We come back. Chaim Bloom in studio with us here at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium. Back after this from the Stifel Sports Studio on KMOX.
KMOX Weekend at your service, sponsored by Air Comfort Service, Heating, Cooling, and Installation.
Okay, I have some really good news. While we do have the 0% a lot, we do have it on our regular products because
lot of hockey fans tune into the show to hear about that. The Blues won last night, 3-1 over Vancouver. We are here in Jupiter, and we get Chaim an hour earlier. He has been kind enough to join us to do that. I know you're a fan of all those St. Louis sports teams. Did we get you over to St. Louis City SC yet?
I haven't done that yet. That will happen, especially once the family gets there full time. I'm going to want to take the kids to everything.
Yeah, it's awesome. And the Blues, they put on a great show. They really are. They're kind of in the same place that you are, maybe just a step ahead in terms of building a young core. I think their expectation was that they could make the playoffs this year. So a bit of a disappointment, but as you can see, probably as you examine other sports too and how they do it, they're building a young core.
Yeah. And I actually really enjoy doing that. I've tried to do that my whole career. You know, you want to learn from everybody. And sometimes within your own sport, obviously everybody's playing their cards close. You can have people that are lifelong friends that you take a bullet for that you're not going to tell anything to, but you know, sometimes those connections in other sports, you can be a little bit more open, bounce things off each other, and just see how, you know, every sport's a little different. So everybody's trying to solve the puzzle a little bit differently, but you can learn some things from seeing how people you respect solve different puzzles. So it's cool to look at. You know, obviously you get to the deadline, you have tough decisions, and reality hits, and you got to grapple with the reality of where you are. And I think in those situations, obviously the most important thing is always to make sure you're living in reality and make the tough decisions accordingly.
Chaim Bloom is with us in studio live. We're on X and Facebook and YouTube. If you want to see us on video, as Sports on a Sunday Morning always is. Your chair is either higher than mine or you're taller than me. How tall are you?
6'2".
Okay,
so
I'm 6'2".
Oh, you're 6'2".
Yeah, I'm 6. Maybe I'm just not sitting up straight up.
Well, I don't know. We can examine the chairs after the show.
But but appreciate all of this. Great facility, great everything. And now you wrap it up. And what is that like for you as you pack up and head to Springfield today?
Yes, it's exciting. I mean, we've got our last game down here about to begin, and you know, then we head out. We've got a cool exhibition game in Springfield tomorrow, which those things, I've been a part of a few of these in the course of my career, and it's really cool and just nice to be able to bring our big league club to a place where obviously a lot of them played. It's an affiliate we really care a lot about, and it's cool to express that partnership with something like this. And then we get home, take a breather, and then we get ready for showtime. So it's exciting. I mean, I love a lot of things about spring training. This has been a particularly fun camp and gives us a lot of excitement for the season, but it's time to get out of here and get rolling.
Let's talk about your pitching staff. That is finalized. Matthew Liberatore is your opening day starter. You've known Matthew a long time, and Libby's made some climb to get to this point, and look who he's facing. I mean, he's going to treat it like any other game, but it's the Rays.
He will. It's funny. Obviously, that trade got so much. Yeah, it was after I left. Not long after I left, but it was after I left. And that trade has gotten so much ink spilled on it in the time since. And of course, the main guy that he was dealt for, actually all the guys he was dealt for, I don't think any of them are still in the organization. So I'm sure, look, he's a pro. I mean, I think that's the biggest thing you can say about him, where he is now, and what he's built for himself as he's made his professional journey. This guy has dialed in an awesome routine, goes about his business the right way. He's seen the fruits of that labor on the field, seems to be taking more and more steps in front of our eyes. And he's mature enough and professional enough. He's going to, obviously, there's going to be a little bit more opening day. It's a huge thing to be able to take the ball on opening day, but he's going to treat it like another game, which, given the seriousness with which he takes his craft, that's a really good thing.
His curveball looks great. And he added a splitter as well, didn't he?
Yeah, he's got 7 pitches now. And it's cool to say. The question is, can you actually differentiate him? Can you execute him? And do they help you get people out? But again, he doesn't do these things by accident. They're not random. Everything that he does is intentional. And looking forward to seeing how this all plays in season.
Michael McGreevy will get the start today. You won't put too much on his shoulders as you kind of dial it down just a touch and get him ready for the regular season. He'll start game 2.
Yeah, and there's usually a obviously everybody does it a little differently, but sometimes that last one of spring you want to ramp down a little bit, just make sure you got a full tank for the season while keeping these guys on schedule. And another guy that you just know he's going to go out there and compete. He's going to take care of business between outings. It's a comforting feeling.
His catcher is Ivan Herrera. And before we get back into the pitching, a lot of fans would have that question. Why is this Herrera catching experiment continuing on? What would be your answer to that?
I think we owe it to ourselves to try to lean into as much value on players as we possibly can. We could say it's an experiment. I get that. I understand where people who would say that are coming from. Just given some of the struggles back there and obviously given, some things he's battled health-wise as well. At the same time, I don't think for him, this is an experiment. This is something he wants to do, and it's something he's been doing his whole life. We've talked about making up for lost time a little bit and some of the things we wanted to give him fundamentally for the position that, we wish we had a time machine. We can go back and give him those earlier. We don't. And obviously, like, the main reason this conversation happens is because the bat is really good. And, with all that still, he's young. It's such a key position to be able to, find offense at. And you want players to have as many ways as possible that they can impact your team. And he's been really enthusiastic about it. He's put in a ton of work. Obviously, we had the little hiccup that's impacted his buildup when he had to miss a little bit of time because of the knee. So, he is a little behind on that. And we'll obviously see how it plays out. We are certainly blessed with a lot of good options behind the plate. So, it's not something that, this late buildup, it really meaningfully changes plans or is going to derail us. But, you never want to limit players or limit yourself.
He won't go to Springfield. He'll stay back here and work a little bit longer.
Mm-hmm.
Dustin May is going to Springfield. I'm not sure if he's starting for the Cardinals or Springfield just yet because they can go. It just matters. He's going to get work, but he's your number 3 starter.
Yes. Yeah. And we, I don't have news to break on that. I know it's actually something that we're talking about just to see what's going to be best for him to get ready for the season. To this point, you could not have asked for a better spring out of Dustin May. Exactly what we hope to see. He's going about his business great. Coming in as, I think with the other teams he's been, he was always kind of the junior member, one of the junior members, and obviously had trouble staying healthy. And he's come in here as a focal point for us and carrying himself great. I've already heard a couple things about how he's positively impacted other players with some of the things that he's said and done, has a lot of lessons to help people with. He's done some pretty cool things in his young career, and with his weight back up and his stuff back, he's showing a little bit different things in his arsenal too that we hope will get him to a little more swing and miss. Just really excited for him, and we'll obviously see where it goes. I know he's hell-bent on showing himself, us, and everybody that he can go pole to pole as a starter. And that's obviously part of why we brought him here. So, the sky's the limit there, and we're excited to get him going on the right foot.
Kyle Leahy looks and acts like he could go wire to wire as a big league starter. I mean, he has everything you could possibly. What did you see in him that you all knew that could be a possibility?
Well, he has done it before, right?
Mm-hmm.
He's carried that workload in minor leagues. And I think part of the reason he came out of that role was just, where he was at that time, ability-wise and as a prospect, so to speak. And he showed last year he can go multiple innings. He's resilient. The way he works, the way he prepares, like if you're going to take a guy from the bullpen to the rotation and give them a chance to do that, there's a lot of work that goes into preparing your body to shoulder that load. We saw that with Libby. You can't do that with someone who doesn't take their work seriously and someone who you don't have confidence that they're going to go through the offseason preparing themselves to do it. That's not a question with him. We know how he takes care of business. And he also has shown the arsenal for it. He's got a really deep repertoire. He's got good options to get outs and miss bats against both sides. You have to have that as a starter because the lineup is going to be built to take you down. Relievers, you can match them up, you can leverage them. A starter, you have to go against whoever they throw at you. So you need to have a repertoire and an ability to pitch to be able to do that. And he has shown that. So obviously it's something that he hasn't done at this level, but all the signs were there to make us think that this had a chance to work really well. We knew he'd do the preparation to come into camp. As we've seen him go through camp, he's held his stuff well. He has shown the ability to put himself in position to do this. So we're excited to give him that opportunity.
And you went with Andre Palante as the 5th starter. What did he do differently this time around to beat out Richard Fitz?
Yeah, this is a theme that we're talking about. It's true in the bullpen as well. Like, he had a great camp. And you know what? For that matter, so did Fitzy. Like, we had tough decisions to make. We had tough decisions in the pen. We optioned Gordon Graceffo yesterday, I believe that was. And he also looked really good in spring. Like, this is exactly where we wanted to see a lot of these guys, to where we do have tough decisions. That is exactly where we want to be, exactly where we need to be, especially as it relates to our arms. You always want to have more good, exciting pitchers than you have spots. And really, every single one of these guys had a good camp. I'd be hard pressed to think of an exception, to be honest with you. Palante, he worked on a changeup this offseason that looked good. Just using everything and executing pitches, that was in a really good spot. And mentally, he's in a great spot. Look, I think, just judging from some of the conversations we've had with other clubs too, like, I think the league understands there's a lot more ability in there than what his results were last year. Sometimes that's just how it goes, but so many things were pointing in the direction of him, meriting another opportunity if he did what he needed to do in the offseason and came into camp looking the way we hoped. And he did.
And when you look at the bullpen, Soriano jumps out. A newer name, Pouchard, obviously, Rule 5, but Soriano makes this bullpen, not only makes the bullpen, but he had a great spring.
Yeah, this was actually a really cool example of when we talk about some of the things we're trying to do on the acquisition side. Some of the things we did behind the curtain to try to help us in going out and finding the right players. And then marrying that with the work on the player development side. And I don't just mean minor leagues. I mean like getting players better. This was a really good example of what that can look like. We are certainly not patting ourselves on the back just yet because we understand the games that matter for the standings have not started yet. But we went out and got this guy. We made, a couple of attempts this offseason to get him on waivers. Last year wasn't the year we hoped, but it was still successful enough that we didn't have high enough waiver priority to get Soriano on waivers. So we jumped out and got him in a trade with the idea that we could do some things with his breaking balls to make him better. Make him more effective against lefties and just give him a better breaking ball option in general. So he gets into our camp. Now our pitching staff gets to know him, introduces some of these ideas. He shows a willingness to put him in practice, figures it out, and a new slider looks pretty good. And he deployed it very comfortably throughout camp. Really good weapon for him. So everything's pointing in the direction of somebody who can help us. Obviously, he needs to go out and do that, but it was just a really good example of having an idea of how to help a player, executing on it. Now we get to see the fruits of our labor in season.
So that's the pitching staff, 13 players. You'll have 13 position players. And in our last minute here, before we go to the Cardinal broadcast, you have not made that announcement yet, nor I don't believe you've had conversations with all the players yet.
We have not, and we're getting there. We hope to have that pretty soon. There too, however this shakes out, there's going to be somebody who is not on that line on the 26th at Busch Stadium that probably has a really good case to be. Again, just exactly where we want to be. You want to have a couple tough decisions at the end of camp. So we're still working through that. Ideally, you like to be able to get on the plane out of here with everybody having clarity. Obviously, the roster's not due till Wednesday, so that's not a must. As much as we can do that, we will try to do that. But it's just good to be in the position where we have tough decisions to make.
Got it. I appreciate all the info, not only today, but throughout. You've always been, our fans respond to these interviews a lot, saying you're very transparent with us. You answer all the questions. I always feel like there's never enough time, but we got in some good stuff today.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. And to you and obviously to everybody listening, keep the questions coming. This is, we know that this franchise does not exist and is not what it is without our fans. And I just view that as part of the responsibility here to be challenged with tough questions from a market that really, really knows baseball. So I enjoy it and look forward to more of them. I'm sure there will be plenty once we start riding the roller coaster of the season and things get real. But honestly, I welcome it because it makes us better when we have the best fans that hold us as accountable as our fans do.
Appreciate it. Cardinal baseball is next.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front